you've and sometimes these things are Pinterest sunset quotes, and
Yes.
really the reality is, and I definitely fall into this category. I was never going to be a grade A student who could study really hard, get the results they were capable of, because I was
Yeah.
too interested in dicking around, and I didn't have the attention span or the ability to focus. Maybe I had some insecurity that fucking about resolved rather than being the class geek. I
Mm,
don't know. Do you know what I mean? It was a long time ago. But at no point in my life have I ever sat back and thought, do you know what? I want to really struggle for the next 5 years and get an education so I can get a better job.
mm.
And again, going back to that thing, people that can write down their ideas, write down their goals, put in the work and do the job, realistically, nothing to do with law of attraction, are probably going to get what they sort out to do, especially if that is, I want to be a welder, I want to be a solicitor, I want to be a paramedic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and that's the thing. So well before I came into the fitness industry, when I was living in York and my kids were very young, I did an A level in criminology so that I could get on a criminal justice degree course because that's what I really wanted to do. I ended up with depression so severe that I couldn't concentrate. Honestly, just getting up on a morning was crippling. Um, and as a result, I never finished the degree.
yeah,
And I'd been focused for a good 5 years building up to that, and I'd done 2 years of that degree course. So I never finished the degree. I've got kind of an unfinished degree to my name, and I've never gone back to it because I've never had since that time. I've never had the concentration, the space, and the environment to be able to get back into that headspace to be able to do it. And it's no lack of desire to want to do it. And this is why I've studied kind of personalities and through a criminal lens, through narcissism, through psychopathy, and I've done it for much longer than the internet's been around. So I don't get all my information from necessarily YouTubers, but I have a good filter for actually people on YouTube who are seem to be talking about these subjects in a fair assessment or who are just being inflammatory for clicks and for selling their courses,
yeah.
etc. And it's put me in good stead with filters, but it's not served me in any realistic way that actually when I first started on that road I wanted to go. And I used to go and sit in courts and watch court cases because it was part of my assignments to do.
Mm.
And I wrote to plenty of people that I should have done to try and get kind of internships for experience and never got a response back. But this is quite normal in when you're trying to get in any world. And then I was on open university, so I was learning from home. But this is quite normal. I didn't realize it at the time, so it probably added to everything that was going on around me at the time, that added to my becoming severely depressed. But
But and
people
also
don't
I
talk about stuff like this in law of attraction. So you can
no.
want something and realistically have the skills, the intelligence, the requirements to achieve these things, but actually other stuff will get in the way. And it's not that you've allowed it or that you've not prioritized correctly or any of those things. Sometimes it's just life.
This is it. I think sometimes you just get hit with reality, and reality doesn't always go in your favor. And there are times when you just seem to ride the roller coaster, and um Tom Hanks, there's a little reel of Tom Hanks where he keeps saying, "This too shall pass," and he's just like, "Everything's going well for you. No, this too shall pass." Jesus Christ, I'm having a terrible year. Yeah, this too shall pass, and whatever is happening, this too shall pass. And it's that Chinese proverb where the one where the, there's a Chinese man and his son, and they get a horse, and everyone in the village says, "Oh, you're really lucky you've got this horse." And the Chinese goes like, "We'll see." His son gets on the horse. The horse throws him off. His son breaks his leg. Oh God! Wow, you were so unlucky. We'll see. And the next day, the army turn up to recruit all the men of fighting age. They don't take his son because his son's got a broken leg. Oh, everyone's, oh, you're lucky. We'll see. And it just, whatever scenario, the dad is always, we'll see. And
But that, do you know what that reminds me of being very British, isn't it? It's a keep calm, carry on kind of
yep,
mentality. It's
don't complain,
that
don't explain.
be be pessimistic with an optimistic viewpoint regardless.
Yeah.
So we're always going to sound pessimistic, even though that's not inherently what we mean. It's always going to kind of come across a little bit that way.
And I think as well, one of the things that you mentioned is about th these people target, and it's not always to do with wealth. They specifically pick up people, or it appeals to people who are feeling extremely emotionally vulnerable. And by that, what I mean is, regardless of what's going on in their life, they feel that it's unfair, and they are seeking a solution. And in that seeking of that solution, if I make promises that this can make you feel better, and I give you examples of Conor McGregor, Jim Carrey, and what it did for them, and these people have spoken about it, so it must be true. Oprah Winfrey, it must be true because they are super successful and they seem to be living the dream. And when you take those and you package it correctly, and in Christianity, you just say a prayer, you ask and I shall receive, and you shall receive, sorry, ask and you shall receive. But one of the things that, again, is you're not saying, nobody said, let's just say 2025 years ago when Jesus was born. Hi, Jesus. This is David. I know you're just a baby, but Christmas has just gone, so you're about 3 weeks old now. I hope you can hear me and you understand. I'd really like a green Lamborghini. I know that's not going to come around again for about another 2020 years, but there's this particular model. When I reincarnate to 2026, there's, and I'd like it with suede leather seats and red stitching, right? That's not kind of what it was about. It was more help me get through the night.